What's up, everyone? This is the Fraser LeVay podcast. We are joined by Uncle Blaiso, which we all know means we are going to talk the NBA. Full swing playoffs starting.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's in the playoffs?
All that matters is Kid Canada
Yeah.
is the MVP, and he's number one seed, so that's good.
I do like that.
Of course, we're doing the NFL final mock draft. We may have some tinkers here and there, but final mock draft, options for each team if someone isn't there, but obviously the ideal picks, some bold predictions here and there. A couple of things to start off, though. We got some news. Aaron Rodgers says, Vikings, I'm here for you. I can lead you to the Super Bowl and mentor JJ McCarthy. He's your boy. It's back.
This guy, man, like, enough. Just go away. Like, teams are telling you they don't want you. They're not interested. Like, what? Why would someone want him at this point? All he is a distraction. He's not Aaron Rodgers that we remembered. Like, if you watched him last year, he had a couple games where he was pretty good, but overall, it wasn't great. It hasn't been great in 4 years. Like, he tore his Achilles 2 years ago. I mean, come on. Like, enough with this guy. If you wanted to be somewhere and if you're going to be any good, you would be there for like the spring workouts, which are starting in some areas. So, like, if you're not there now, you're not. What's the point? You need to get with the organization and get on the same page. And I just have had enough of this guy. Like,
yeah,
I want him to be gone. I listen like regularly to the PMAC show, and I don't even listen on Tuesdays when he's on because just the sound of his voice pisses me off, and the way they kiss his ass pisses me off. Like, know when to say when, man. Like, sometimes you just have to let it go, and that's where we are, Aaron. Time to let go. No one wants to see you around anymore. Okay, no. Move on.
I don't understand how Russell Wilson got a contract, but like, he's Russell Wilson. I guess Wilson has baggage, but all the baggage. It's like Russell Wilson maybe had one team that could maybe take him, and the other team that could maybe take him just let go of him. So I mean, if they're not taking Russell Wilson, then if someone picked up Joe Flacco over you, I mean, it's, hey, knock, knock, Aaron. I think
reality is calling. Go to do your little ayahuasca retreat and just stay there. Like, just stay there. You love it so much. Go. Just leave us alone. Enough of this guy.
Yeah, it's like, this is a good lesson for people who just want to, he's had some stuff over the past couple of years all about himself and just whatever. And then on the other side, Nico Imaliva, or how do you pronounce his name? NIL.
Oh.
I'm torn. He's getting his just desserts because it seems like it's like bad, negative energy, I guess. He wasn't showing up for workouts. He wasn't showing up for NIL signings. So that stuff's all bad. But then if this was first take and I was to take the side of the player, is it his fault for asking for more money and holding out when college football has made this scenario possible? You know what I mean? Like, sure, it's not the best thing to do.
Yeah.
But I think under the parameters, they might as well just make it a pro league at this point. You know what I'm saying?
It is. But if the rumors are true, he almost held out of their playoff game.
Yeah.
Like, if that's true, then zero sympathy for this guy. I mean, you're a college kid. He's making $2.5 million a year in college. Like, and you've made a commitment to the school. They need to. You and I are on the same page. It's like they need to adjust this so much. They can't just have free agency every single year. Like, if you're getting NIL money, you need to stay there 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it is. Like, that should be part of the contract. And the idea of these guys to just go every year, it's insane, and it's worse than the pro system, and it's absolutely blowing up.
Yeah, and they're saying like 2-year contracts are starting to be a bit more of a thing, like as teams wisen up. But is there a penalty for? I don't think there is. There can be a penalty if the guy signs a 2 or 3 year contract and just says, "Nah, I'm done with it." Yeah, because I don't think you're allowed to say, "Oh, you can't go to college somewhere else," in terms of how they negotiated this whole NIL thing. You know what I'm saying? Which they need to, but it's not in place right now.
For sure they need to, and who puts that rule in? Is it an NCAA rule? Is it a conference rule? It's such a dicey situation. They rushed it all in because the players won the lawsuits and they deserve to get paid. I'm glad they're getting paid, but they just missed. There's so many holes in the system that is allowing for absolute chaos. I saw some of the basketball numbers
Crazy.
when there's like over 1,000 kids, Division I basketball players went in the portal, and like 13 or 14% have new deals. The rest of them are just out there. Like it's gonna start to backfire. And I actually, like, you don't want to wish ill on this kid, but if he was gonna miss a playoff game, then I don't really care if I'm wishing ill on him. But it'd be nice to see it blow up and him make an example of where he ends up at like Bowling Green. No offense, Bowling Green, but like if he was playing in the SEC, $2.5 million, and now he has to go and play at Bowling Green for like 150K. I think that would be a win for the system, and it would be a just desserts for the player getting too greedy.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things you see now. All this stuff's coming out. Like now they're kind of like, oh no, he did this, and his dad wanted an extra 80K, and he wanted this car. So I'm a little hesitant. Like, oh, now you just want to shit on the kid. Where like this whole time you're like, oh, he's our boy. So it's kind of how it always happens, right? Like all of a sudden, oh yeah, we never liked him. He was a piece of shit. Him.
Yeah, they've been hyping him up. He was everywhere. He was on all their media. He was everywhere. Yeah. But that also goes to show you, if they were just willing to cut him, it must have been bad. Like,
absolutely,
it must have been bad.
And we were texting about it. I feel like they're going to go full NFL, blackballing him, and not just no one's going to sign him. And just like you're saying, he'll go to some terrible school, and instead of $4 million, like you say, he's making nothing.
Yeah,
which. Then I wonder, watch there be some antitrust lawsuit, kind of like the NFL had, and just blow up even more. It's terrible.
Yeah,
but as a basketball fan, Texas Tech, we were like not we're a tier 2 school, kind of, sometimes a tier 1, but we're not Alabama, we're not Georgia.
Yeah.
But for basketball, it's like, all right, we had a bunch of hardworking dudes all together, a great team, and now we have like our second best player is in the portal and also in the draft, and like. Another guy just went to the portal, so it's kind of, you're excited to see like a team stick together, which, to be fair, we stole most of those players away from another school, so it's just, I don't know, it sucks. But yeah, hopefully they fix it. Well, let's get in the mock draft.
Yes.
I'm excited for this. I've been working hard, and already I finished it yesterday, and there's already a change because Miami says they're going to trade Jalen Ramsey, or at least he's allowed to go seek trades. So that blows
up.
Good
luck with that. $25 million guaranteed this year. Yeah. You can say you're going to trade him, but you might get a 7th if anybody will take that on.
Which is like the Kirk Cousins thing, and not him, I guess, because he's not Kirk Cousins' age, but or even Deshaun Watson, like trading someone and having to give up a pick. I feel like we're in this kind of realm of. That's what it was. Yeah. Bradley Beal for the Suns basketball. But they're going to have to, he wants out, and they're going to have to trade a pick along with him because his contract is so ridiculous.
Really?
So, yeah. So, I'm surprised we've talked about this before. I'm surprised we don't see more of, all right, you can take your Cousins and we'll take some money and we'll give you a 6th round pick or whatever.
It did a few years ago. I remember Cleveland did it. It was, it's about 6-7 years ago now. And they basically traded somebody. Basically just like they traded for somebody and they got a 3rd round pick, and essentially it was like they paid like $4 million for a 3rd round pick or something like that in the salary cap is what it worked out to, because it was the guy was clearly getting cut. But it could start happening more, but the cap keeps going up, so you don't hear the stories about these teams being in trouble anymore. Like everyone's kind of figuring out a way to get under the cap, other than the Saints, but that's where they live, so I guess they're used to it. They have the worst. Like, they need new accountants. There's something. How can they just always be like over?
I can't name 5 players on the Saints, and I try and do this for a living.
Yeah, no doubt. And apparently, it's not just this year. Like, they've got a couple more years to get out of this mess. And they've like Kamara is a 30-year-old running back, and they got rid of Lattimore. They get Olave, but he's not on a big deal yet. Like, I don't know where these contracts are. I don't know where all this money is.
Yeah. And I saw Derek Carr. I know he had such an insane contract for Derek Carr.
Yeah, they paid him huge.
Yeah, and it's still going for, I think it's 4 more years left.
Oh, God.
So we'll get into the Saints, I guess, more. But, pick number 1, mock draft 2025. This really, I don't spend too much time on it. I think everyone knows it's the only surefire pick in the draft. Cam Ward is who I have. I'm sure you have as well.
Yep.
I think they hope he's the next Steve McNair without the crazy girlfriend that kills him. But
whoa, Jesus!
I'm just saying.
Is that the story? I didn't know
Well,
that.
yeah, you haven't watched the Steve McNair documentary?
No, I didn't know it was his girlfriend. Maybe I did, but it's been a while since I've
Yeah,
seen
it's
it.
been so long ago. I think we did know, but it's been like 15 years. He was
Yeah.
dating a girl from Dave and Buster's. She was a waitress, and and he was married and had like a secret apartment.
Oh, right. Yes, I remember all this now.
And then she ended up doing a murder suicide, and so
Right. Yeah, hey, that's true love.
Mhm.
If I can't have you, no one gets you. Or me.
dating
Watch this. I'll see you on the
dating
other side.
dating advice from Fraser and Blaiso.
Yep. I'll see you on the other side.
uh, um,
Boy, is she going to be pissed off when she realized that there's no other side. The lights just go out and
yeah,
fade
it's
to
just
black.
finished.
It's like, oh,
Sorry, JK.
bummer.
I had a dream scenario, but we don't have to go deep into a dream scenario because I don't think anything's going to happen. But
yeah,
I think that if the Titans, obviously the Giants or the Browns or the Steelers are like head over heels for Cam Ward and trade up for him, but obviously it's not going to happen. But I do like it for the Titans to trade out because they don't really have anything. You know, it's not like they're like, oh yeah, we're a quarterback away from winning. They're just kind of a middle of the road team.
So you know what? They got a decent defense last year,
yeah,
and they've bulked up their O-line a little bit. So I don't know. I don't think they'll be horrible.
Remember we talked about the defense last year, and with the whole time, we're like, oh, we thought they had a decent defense, but then it was terrible. Like we were at like week 13, we're like, oh no, it's not as good as we remember.
They got Jeffrey Simmons. Take him.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Bold prediction. I think I just want to put this one in there. I think Cam Ward could be like a legit starter. I like his story. I think he maybe hangs around. Like, I think you either have to be a winner right out the gates, like in college, high school, your whole life, or have a chip on your shoulder and like really want to keep on working hard. And it seems like this dude is like that chip on the shoulder, no 0-star recruit out of high school.
That's crazy.
I could rant on this. So high school sports in the U.S., like they're basketball players, now Europeans are all the best basketball players and a Canadian. But I just feel like they do this whole like, oh, I want to win like for my youth, like my youth teams. So that's what happened with him. They did like the run heavy system. So he never threw the ball. So he never got recruited. So we're just seeing shitty basketball and shitty football come out because of these scenarios. But they're the only country that's good at football. So it doesn't really hurt them there. You know what I mean? And soccer, same thing. You just see, I don't know, they're not doing like Europe is in terms of building talent, playing games the right way, that sort of thing.
Like development wise.
Development. No, thank you. That's what I'm looking for.
Don't even get me going on youth sports.
Yeah. All right. Well, pick number 2 gets a little bit interesting, but it seems like odds-on favorite, and who I'm going to put here is Travis Hunter. Number 2 pick in the draft. What do you got?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's Travis Hunter. I feel the same way about the Browns and the Giants when it comes to these things, that I'm hoping it's not tainted because I want him to fall to number 4, but all the talk about Abdul Carter going to the Browns or to the Giants, it's like both teams already have so much invested at edge that why would you just triple down? You know what I mean? At that part of the draft, like you like the Giants have 2 huge paid DNs already. Why in the world are they going to go take another pass rusher? And you hear these guys talking like, oh, what a great NASCAR package they would have when it's 3rd and 8 and they could put all these guys in the field. Well, that's great. But if you're never in 3rd and 8 because they're running the ball down your throat or they're up by 30, it doesn't do you any good if the rest of your roster sucks. So I feel the same way. So that's why I'm definitely saying Hunter there instead of Carter.
Yeah, and we talked about it on a past podcast. I want them to take Shedeur Sanders just from a standpoint of they're in cap hell for 2 more years, 3 more years.
Yeah.
So they're not going to fix this. And the only fix is obviously the only fix is they suck again this year, and they're in the Arch Manning and what's his name sweepstakes from the quarterback you love, Drew Aller.
Oh yeah.
But it's like really so you're just throwing away a season by not getting a quarterback. At least you get Shedeur in there, and maybe he's a good 40% chance, 30% chance he's a starter for years to come.
Yeah.
And if not, you're shit, and you just back where you are for the next 2 or 3 years anyways. But I don't know.
Yeah. I just think that Hunter brings the pop and sizzle that they need in that fan base. They need that kind of excitement because they got they got some decent, some decent building blocks, but it's what they need, kind of some flashiness.
They just need to add Andy Dalton to go with a
Oh
Deshaun
boy.
Watson, Joe Flacco, Kenny
Oh
Pickett.
boy, what a disaster! What a disaster!
What is the worst QB room? Cleveland, I guess the answer is probably Cleveland, but the Giants story, it's got to be right there with Russ and Jameis.
Yeah, I think it's the Giants. I don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, we never understand what they're doing, the Giants, but that one to me is confusing. You have couldn't be more polar opposites, those two, like Russell and Jameis, and then now you're gonna, whether it's your first pick or later in the draft, you're gonna bring in a kid. You're gonna bring in a young quarterback that has to start dealing with those two. I mean,
like
disaster.
A devil,
I don't know what they're thinking.
A devil and an angel on your shoulder if you're poor Jackson Dart or whatever.
Yeah.
Throw it. No. Look for something better. No, throw it. Just throw it.
Yeah. Check down. Jameis is like, no, send it. Yeah, that's gonna be amazing. I mean, the guy won't even want to go to the sidelines. He's just gonna be like, I can't. Just walk down to the end of the bench and hope my coach comes down there with me.
They need to live stream it. They both get their own headsets into the quarterback's ear, and they both get to tell him what to do during the play. Everything.
That would be unbelievable.
Speaking of, actually, that leads me, before we get to the Giants, my GM idea. It needs to be a reality TV show, and if you're the worst GM for 10 years, it's just a reality show. Someone gets your job. And I mean, it can be fantasy owners, it can be guys who, I don't know, run businesses, whatever it is, but something has to happen. It'll make life a little bit more interesting, and someone just gets to be the GM. Like, sure, you get like an accounting guy, you get all the people that help you, but you get to make the picks, you get to do everything, because obviously the Browns aren't doing very well. The Giants, okay, but if you're just making shocking move after shocking move, I think something drastic needs to happen.
Absolutely, and that's like the poster child of the Giants. That term right there. That's exactly what they are.
Yeah. So pick number 3 in the Giants, or I guess we'll get into it. Pick number 3, I have Abdul Carter going, and you are on the fence on that one.
Yeah, I just don't. He's the best player available there, but I just don't. I really don't understand the logic. So, I think that they could trade down and someone come up to get Carter, because they know the Patriots are going to take him if they don't. But yeah, I'm going to just, and this is wishful thinking, I'm going to go with Shadur. But I just think, you know what, you tried this once where you went with a Hall of Famer's kid at quarterback, turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that the kid's been in the limelight forever, so he can handle New York. And they're the same thing. They have to try something. They can't think that Russell Wilson and James are the answer. They have to try something. And the idea of waiting is nonsense too. I keep hearing everybody say, "Oh, the Giants or the Browns, they'll just get a quarterback in the second round." And I started thinking, like, name a good second round quarterback.
Yeah, not really. There's there's nothing like these two, kind of thing. Like, to your point.
No. Yeah, you either get your quarterback in the first round, or you get lucky in like the third, fourth, fifth, right? Like Dak or Russell Wilson, or like
Brock Purdy.
When they were good, like you get them later. Like if you look around the league now, that's either that or it's like first round quarterbacks. There's no second round quarterbacks that are any good. So I think the Giants, if you need one, you got to go get one. And I guess you could say the same thing for like your idea of the Browns doing it too, but I don't know that they're going to pass on Hunter. So I'm going to go with Shady.
So I've got Abdul as like my pick, but I would say if I was a Giants GM, he's living on borrowed time.
Yeah.
And he should go Shady. He needs Shadur Sanders, because what he has this year, he's getting fired. Like, if Russell Wilson is bad, which there's a very high chance he's going to be bad, he's absolutely getting fired. So even if you don't believe in Shadur Sanders for like just keeping your job security, you got to take him. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting too. Like, you have Shadur Sanders, you have a stud running back, stud wide receiver. At least it's exciting. Your fans would be like, "Oh, we've got something." God,
absolutely.
Like, no one wants to watch Russell Wilson. This is awful.
Yeah, and even less people want to watch Jameis Winston, except for us. Like, it's not your team, he's great to watch. I love him. Yeah, exactly. He's just going to do some cool stuff. But when it's your team, like, why would you want that?
Exactly. All right. Well, then pick number 4, where it gets extremely interesting, because obviously if you've got Abdul Carter here.
Yep.
Well, I'll have you do. You'll probably take Abdul Carter with the number 4 pick in your
Yeah.
scenario. If Abdul's not there, let's go. What you think on that? I took Will Campbell.
Yeah.
Who do you take if no Carter?
The same. I hope they make every effort to trade down a few spots. I just don't know why anyone would come up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because if we could even pick up a second rounder, like an early second, and stay in the top 10 of the first, I would do that trade in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, if it's pick at 4 and both and Carter and Sanders are gone, yeah, it's got to be the Hoggy. Got to have it.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing that's sneaking in is maybe Jalen Walker, just because it sounded like his versatility and stuff. He's a lot like Carter, just maybe not as explosive. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be the only other guy that I would consider there.
Yeah, going through and do this exercise on the mock draft. There's so many teams that just miss out on their guys, as we'll get later and later down the mocks, and then in the mid 20s, there's a ton of where the draft just falls perfectly in their laps.
Yeah.
Which this is a perfect example. Like Will Campbell, it's a great pick, but you could have him at maybe 7 or 8 or 9, or Membu at 7 or 8 or 9, like you said, and trade back.
Yeah.
And you could just miss out on Abdul Carter. So,
yeah,
is that 2 years in a row you guys haven't tanked properly? At least you got Drake May out of it the first time.
So I'm fine with that one because I'd
Yeah.
rather have him than Caleb.
Yeah.
But this year, like when you think of what it cost, just winning that game against Buffalo, like I just want to scream sometimes. And it's not even just the first round because obviously that's a big one. There's like 3 or 4 teams that are all tied. So the second, third, all the way down, like the order rotates. So we pick like 4th in this round, but then we pick like 7th in the second round.
Oh.
Instead of being first every single round, plus all the picks we would have gotten from somebody for Cam Ward. Like,
yeah,
it's one of the more colossal blunders of the last few years. There's been a lot of them.
Yeah.
And that one takes the cake. But hey, you know what? We got Maisie, so if we can put a couple good players around him in this year's draft, we'll be fine.
Is the TJ Watt thing potential? Like I saw you send along that he might get traded. There's a chance.
Well, Pittsburgh's sure like dragging their heels and signing him, right? So there has been a lot of talk of a trade. I don't know what it would take to get him. I don't, like you're not.
Wouldn't it have to be this pick?
No, no.
Isn't he? He's a freak.
He's a freak, but he's also what 28. Like I don't think anyone's trading a first round pick for him. Especially the contract you're gonna have to give him is going to be higher than what Myles Garrett just got.
Yeah, yeah. I guess you could say he's Abdul Carter or Jalen Walker, but
yeah, let's just take those guys. Yeah, a fraction. So.
All right. Pick number 5, Jacksonville Jaguars. I've got Mason Graham, the defensive tackle from Michigan. Who do you have?
I think everywhere you look, that's what they have. It's a big need for Jacksonville. The only one I'm going bold prediction, if they go on offense, is maybe you see Tyler Warren there. Because they just cut Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
They've got a stud wide out in BTJ. Now you put a guy to control the middle of the field. That's kind of my bold prediction for the top 5.
Okay. Yeah, and also Jalen Walker, I think, could be a decent option there as well because they need help everywhere. I guess they've got Josh Allen on the edge, but
and the dude that they took in the first overall, like 3 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, so they're even though he hasn't totally panned out, and there was talk of trading him, but I think they need somebody in the middle. This guy seems like a can't miss pick, so they'd be pretty happy to get him.
Is Trevor Lawrence? I don't want to call him a bust, but the most overhyped letdown since like the century so far.
This century?
Because what I was thinking, and I mean, like, he was the most overhyped quarterback aside from Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck, was he not? Like the surefire franchise changer.
Yeah, like talking about his freshman year of college, like he was going to be the number 1 pick whenever he comes out, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not. I don't think he's fully bust yet. He hasn't lived up anywhere near it, but he's not like Jamarcus Russell where he's almost out of the league. Like he's, he's. I think you got to stock it up around him, give him another chance with a new coach and see what happens. But if it doesn't pan out this year, they got to start thinking. I mean, I guess they really can't because they're paying him $50 million a year, but That's the part that's the worst.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yes. That's what I mean. Like the most hype since you said freshman year of college, high school.
Yeah.
He's the next one. So yeah, definitely not a bust, but like the highest is him, Peyton Manning, and Andrew Luck pretty much. And then he hasn't really panned out.
No, that's the biggest letdown for sure.
For fantasy wise, he's my Kyle Pitts, where like people just can't quit Kyle Pitts. I can quit Kyle Pitts, but I can't quit Trevor Lawrence. He'll be my like sleeper. This is the year. Don't worry, he's coming here. Like I'll say he's a bust, but then come fantasy time, I'm like, no, I believe again. Pick number 6, Las Vegas Raiders. It seems like a lot of people have this pretty chalk. I'm going Ashton Jeanty, running back, Boise State. Is that what you got?
I do, but I got one concern. It's like they just used a first round pick a couple years ago on a running back, and they used him for like 2 years, and then traded it, let him go to the Packers. So, do they just not believe in keeping them around? Like, why are they going to go back down that road again? Why didn't they just keep Jacobs? I don't know.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, but it is a new regime, so to me, like, Pete's going to want to run the ball. Genty's an animal. I think it's the pick, but I just, if you really wonder, although like I said, it's different people involved, so maybe I shouldn't be thinking like that. But like they could have just kept the stud running back they had. Chose not to.
Yeah, like if you think a running back only has a 6-year shelf life, why wouldn't you take maybe Tyler Warren, who has a 12-year shelf life, or Jalen Walker, or whoever it is? To your point,
absolutely.
Okay. That makes sense. Do you believe in Geno Smith?
As what?
I guess I just feel like, I've said this with Kirk Cousins. There's like Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Geno Smith, Tua. I feel like they're just always going to keep you like 9 wins, 8 wins, 10 wins, 7 wins.
Yeah, Geno's not winning the Super Bowl, and he had a pretty good receiving crew in Seattle. He's not going to have that with the Raiders. So I believe in Geno as a starting NFL quarterback. But like, he's not. I don't think he's carrying you deep into the playoffs.
Like, is that, if you were a GM, I feel like I would just be like, if I don't have a top 6 guy that we know, like, is a stud, it's like, all right, I'm not just going to go get Geno Smith. I'm not going to go get Sam Darnold or Jared Goff. Like, once we see enough, we know we can't win the Super Bowl. What's the point? If you have other options, I guess.
So how long did that new deal they just gave him, was it for 2 more years or 3?
I think maybe only 2 guaranteed. So not the end of the world either. Yeah.
Now that Tommy's there, and he's always been a proponent of letting these new quarterbacks sit and watch. And he's known Shedeur since he was a kid. Shedeur to Vegas would be interesting. Like, it would be very clear, like, hey, you're not playing this year. You can compete next year. I'm saying don't rule it out. I don't think it's going to happen, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
Yeah, I think this Shedeur pick is going to be interesting. There's so many options. I guess not so many options, but there's 3 or 4 where it could just not be a surprise if they grab him.
Not at
all. Pick number 7, New York Jets. I'm going Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State.
Ooh, nice.
What are you doing?
Mambu.
Yeah.
Mambu. They're bulking up their line. They don't have a right tackle, and I think he can play both, but he played right in college, so I think they go Mambu and try and bolster their line. Maybe outside pick at Jalen Walker because their defense sucks, but I think you go Mambu for sure.
And I picked Tyler Warren for 2 reasons. One, they spent a first rounder last year and in 2022 on their line, and then I think a second rounder 2 years ago. So I keep on setting picks on those. And I feel like you could find lots of Membus, but Tyler Warren, he's supposed to be moderately generational, right?
Right.
So I just think his value could be, and it's a sure thing. Membu was kind of like, he looked better towards the end of the year, had a great combine, where we've seen those guys not always pan out, where at least Tyler Warren is just going to be a stud for his whole career pretty much.
Yeah, he's going to be an animal.
And also I think that'd be exciting. You've got Justin Fields, who obviously has his throwing issues. So now you've got Tyler Warren, you've got Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall running the ball. I feel like all of a sudden you've got a pretty exciting team to watch.
Yep.
All right. A dream scenario, I think a trade up. I think a lot of people would love, or trade down, sorry, where the Saints get nervous and they want to take Shadur a little early so no one sneaks up in front of them.
Hey, I mean, if the Saints want Shadur, pick 4 is for sale. Like let's if we're doing that in our world, come on up, boys. Then you won't worry about anybody snaking them.
I don't see why they wouldn't. What do you think? Like a realistic, like a third, maybe a second?
No, it would be their second this year, and then maybe a fourth, or a second this year and a third next year. For sure, their second this year. That would have to happen. But
yeah,
second and a fourth, I would do it.
Yeah,
for sure. That gives us 2 seconds. Everyone's the talk of this draft is that from like pick 8 or 9, player 8 or 9 to player 50 are all, there's no superstars, but they're all starting caliber players, and that's exactly what the Patriots need. So yeah, I would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. All right. Pick number 8, Carolina Panthers. They need everything. Do you know who gave up the most points in the season in NFL history? Take a guess.
Carolina Panthers.
Yes, last year.
Yes. Yeah.
Ouch. So
I don't think easy.
I went Jalen Walker, Edge, Georgia. How about you?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I think it's instant too. I think they charge up with the card if he's there.
And if Mason Graham is there, I think they would take him. Be happy if he fell, right?
Yeah. Yeah, either of those two. One of them's going to be there, and they would jump all over it.
All right. Well, it's kind of simple. Pick number 9, New Orleans Saints. I'm going Shadur Sanders. He's still there in my mock. Who do you got?
Yeah, so I would have Sanders gone, and I'm thinking like they just need to go probably best player, and yikes. I changed it up when I went with Shadur, but I think I'm going to go Michael Williams.
Okay.
Yeah. Their defense is getting old and worn down, and they need help there. I think they would like to drop down a little bit. That might be a bit high for him, but if we're not saying there's going to be much for trades, to me, he's got to go. He's going to have to go somewhere there, or Michael Williams or Mike Green, because they've never been shy about going with a small school guy.
Yeah, and then obviously, if Shitter's still there, would you take him?
I would. Yeah, I would. I don't know that they would. I think there's part of Saints Nation that is like, let's go full March for Arch. Don't take a quarterback. Just stock pick players. They're going to be the shits. Try and go get the number 1 pick and get Archie Manning next year. Like, imagine another Archie Manning. Like, that makes sense. Yeah, that's what I see. But.
All right. Well, then also I've heard some mocks where I guess they also like Jackson Dart a little bit, but that would be interesting. Yeah, if
another
also
you just jumped
Sanders. Yeah.
Yeah, another Ole Miss quarterback.
Pick number 10, Chicago Bears. I've got them taking Membu is still there in my mock, and also if Tyler Warren was still available, I think Tyler Warren would be an incredible fit, but he's gone in my scenario.
Yeah.
Jalen Walker also be a nice little option as well. What are you thinking for the Bears?
For the Bears, I think they need an edge. I don't know who they have it as. So whoever they think is their favorite edge at that point, they're probably not pumped to see Walker and Michael go right in front of them.
Yeah.
So that would mean, Green or Ezeraku. I think Green.
All right. Yeah. Like Green. Yeah,
it seems like it's pretty well stocked now, right? Like they got another guy would consider there would be if they wanted to go with the top corner, whoever they feel the top corner is, Johnson or Barron or whatever. But I feel like they need some pass rush.
Definitely. Would you, if Tyler Warren was still there, would you take him?
I keep seeing that a lot. And I guess you could do a 2 tight end set, but they got Cole Kmet, who's not
solid,
not bad. But I don't think Warren. I mean, if he gets to there, that has to be the limit. I can't see him going any deeper than that. Like that kid's an animal. So I like that pick. I just I guess you know what, that's a good call because I don't have him gone in mind.
Okay.
I talked about him earlier. Yeah, I'm doing that.
A lot of not a lot. Some have them reaching for Omarion Hampton because Ben Johnson's
Oh, wow.
there, right? And obviously he took Gibbs. So yeah, that'd be a crazy.
That would be
it would
very
be
interesting.
The Bears to reach or do something that no one expects. I think
That'd
I could
be pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah. Pick number 11, 49ers. I think we talked about this before, but it's odd that the 49ers are really depleted on both lines of scrimmage, where typically we think about them just being bullies, right?
Yeah. Especially the D-line.
And to kind of like I was saying earlier, this draft, they're seeing a ton of people they want gone. So now they've got a kind of a top corner in the draft on mine. So I'm taking Barron, Texas. Obviously, you go Will Johnson, whoever you think is a better cornerback there. But
yeah,
I think you have corners are what's best available right now, where the edge and defensive tackles aren't really, they're ranked 10 spots lower kind of thing. So the best value is that corner, which is a position they need.
So who do you take?
Oh, Barron.
Barron, okay. Yeah, we're on the same page there. I think he fits what they do big time.
So, yeah, it seems like a bold prediction, if they pay Purdy to a plus money,
yeah,
I feel like they might not be good ever again for like a few years. Maybe not ever again. Like I like Purdy, but
yeah,
if they can't, they've kind of done their thing by not paying guys, right, and just being studs on everywhere else. But now that this might really hurt them.
Yeah.
So I guess
ever again.
At
it's
least
all going to depend on C-Mac though. Like if he's healthy or not. That's everything for them.
Yeah. Which he's been healthy 1 year in the last 10, but
there's that. Yeah.
Pick number 12, Dallas Cowboys. This I have down will be the worst pick of the draft, no matter what they do. I'm going Tet McMillan because Jerry Jones has no idea what he's doing and just wants the next flashy thing.
Yeah.
And so I went Tet.
I mean, that would be intriguing if he turns out to be like the downfield guy they're talking about, and then you have CD on the other side. Mm-hmm. That would be scary. You have to say that. I like it. I like that pick. I think Jerry will go closer to home, and he's going to go with Golden.
I had that in my notes that they could, just because he played at Texas. He wants, he's big into what fans like, so you get a whole bunch of Austin people loving it even more.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. But I also think because he could die at any moment, he may trade up because it's like he's not. That's my bold prediction. Is he's like, I only got a couple years of life left, so I'm going to trade up and get trade some first for Ashton Genty and move on up, since I might not see it in 3 years.
Yeah, I guarantee he's making calls because he wants Ashton Genty.
Hmm.
I just don't think he'll get anywhere close. I don't see it.
Yeah. Pick number 13, Miami Dolphins, where we've seen, I don't know, just bad pick. I think as much as I want to hate on the coach and Tua, what's his Green? Is that the GM? Wasn't he from the Patriots?
What? No.
Well, he's terrible. Anyways, I just think all of us, he needs to go. Their gimmick coach needs to go. So, but I had Malachi Starks going here before the news this morning of Jalen Ramsey allowed to seek a trade. Yeah. So I think I've still got Will Johnson on the board. So I think I swap Malachi Starks out for Will Johnson. But the good news is they need DB help, and they can pick either the best safety in the draft or one of the top two corners, if you don't include Travis Hunter, of course. So yeah, I'm going Will Johnson because I had Barron going earlier.
Yeah, fair enough. They stink. Like I think they stink like out loud, or they're going to. It's gonna be great. And they're in a free fall. I love it. So, but I think as far as draft goes, they need more help up front. They need more help on the offensive line. They got to keep Tua clean. We know if Tua has a pocket, he's good, and if he has any kind of even like a fly buzzing by his ear, he's a mess. So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go Tyler Booker.
Okay.
Yep. Clean. Sounds like it's. Everyone says he's the most clean offensive lineman other than Campbell. Like he's not flashy. He's not going to do anything, but he's just going to be a solid player. So I'll go him there.
I feel like we see my bold prediction is just cleaning house in the next year or so. Tua's gone, Tyreek Hill's gone, Jalen Ramsey's gone.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, all the money that they're paying, I don't know how soon they can get out of the Tua stuff. Probably has to be 3 years, so not anytime soon, but they can get out of the Tyreek Hill contract in a year, I'm sure, trade him away. Jalen Ramsey has a bunch of money, but I think they're going to start all over again.
Well, they have to. Like their salary situation's a mess. And who could have seen it coming? Like we called it how many different times? You're paying your quarterback and 2 receivers like over half your cap. It's not going to work.
And then the Bengals are like, hold my beer. We're going to do it too.
Yeah, wait a second. But at least theirs are with better players.
Yeah, at least they have Joe Burrow and not an old wide receiver.
Yeah.
Pick number 14, Indianapolis Colts. I'm going Colston Loveland, tight end, Michigan. Who do you got?
Me too. Yeah, I'm going the same. I'm going the same. But I will say, watch out for Jackson Dart. They've given up on old buddy. They have. So whether they give up on him to that extent, maybe they want to give him one more year. They just give him a good player. But yeah, I like their line's in good shape. Their running back's in good shape. Their defense is okay. So Loveland, from what you hear, is just going to be like a plug-in guy who's going to be a good player. So that seems like the right thing to do at 14.
Yeah. All right. Pick number 15, Atlanta Falcons. Defense is a mess. I have Mike Green, Marshall on the board. But really, whoever they think is the best available edge is a good option here, which is Michael Williams, Jed Campbell. But I think Green is perennially ranked pretty high here.
Yeah, he is. I agree. They got to go defense. They traded last year for what's his name from the Patriots, the guy that we got like a 3rd round pick for. He starts wear the red sleeves. Why can't I think of his name right now?
Yeah, he's one of your better players too.
He was really good for a while, but then he left. But he's a free agent. Like they traded for him, gave up a 3rd round pick, and he's still sitting there. No one signed him. So maybe they're happy with some young guys they have on the line, but they just lost Grady Jackson. So I'm going to go in the middle of the D line. I'm not going to go on the edge. And so I'm going to go with Josh Harmon.
Nice. All right. So I think we're all defense there. I think also they have 5 draft picks, which is second lowest next to the Vikings.
Yeah, that's crazy. You guys only have 4 picks.
So I like them as like a trade out candidate, which there's a ton of people who would obviously love to get in here with a ton of good edges, offensive linemen kind of thing.
Yeah.
If someone's in love with a corner that maybe is still on the board or a safety or an edge on the board, they can move up.
Yeah.
So good spot there. Pick number 16, Arizona Cardinals. I've got them going defense. And if you can't name more than 2 players on the Cardinals defense, like myself, and I live in Arizona.
Buda Baker.
Buda Baker's 1. Calais Campbell's number 2 now.
Yes, that's cheater though. That's that. I don't know if we can count that one.
Yeah. But surely just adding a linebacker do-it-all from Alabama has to be a good idea, right? I mean, you're not can't really miss. Yeah.
Generally.
So, seems like you can do a ton of stuff. And
you're going Jihad?
Yeah, and a lot of people, not a lot, some people haven't taken a wide receiver here, like if Golden's still on the board, but they already invested number 4 pick last year. They're paying the most expensive tight end in the league. Like, get some defensive help here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I'm going to go a different one that you might not have seen, just because I think eventually he's slid long enough. Will Johnson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'll work too. I think they need help everywhere.
I think the Bengals are going to be super pissed that happens right before them. That's right.
So I watch the Bengals go offense, and they should just get punted to the CFL. Speaking of the Cincinnati Bengals, pick number 17. They have to go defense, please, or else they're just the worst ever. I still have Michael Williams on the board, defensive end Georgia, so I haven't taken him.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, if they love James Pierce Jr. or Shamar Stewart, great options. And you said you have the corner? Oh, no, the corner's gone now.
No, corner went to the Cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, no, I'm going, that's where I'm going to put Shamar.
Okay.
Yep.
Shamar Stewart, edge out of Texas A&M. Yeah, I think we've harped enough on the Bengals, but yeah, we can probably move on.
Yeah, it's although, so the one interesting thing that you might see happen before they make their picks, just so that they know, is if they end up trading their pass rusher.
That's true.
They still haven't signed them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hendrickson.
So, yeah, at some point, like, they're going to have to take only a second or a third round for them. They think they're getting more, but it's not going to happen. So before this pick, if I was them, I'd want to know if I have him or not, because then it's it's Green or Stewart or whoever you think. But I think they've got to make a decision on that before they pick.
And for the viewers at home, why are they not paying him, and why did they pay T. Higgins? I think we've talked this is mind baffling.
I don't know.
Oh,
they
here
literally
we
are
go.
just saying, you know what? We're just going to outscore everybody. Fuck it. Just play whoever on defense. Doesn't matter. Just try to slow them down.
They tried to do last year and it didn't work out. They didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm aware, but there was like 1 or 2 games went the other way. They would have been in the playoffs and no one would want a piece of them.
Yeah. Oh my God. Is it? So I got T. Higgins maybe number 2. Russell Wilson, worst free agent signing. T. Higgins second just because of his cost. Is there another one you throw in there?
I can't even think. Yeah. I can't think. I think I actually saw a lot of moves I liked in free agency. It seemed like there was a couple huge ones, but people were pretty prudent after that.
Pick number 18, Seattle Seahawks. I've got them taking Gray Zabel, offensive lineman.
I like
North Dakota State.
I love it.
Or if they love Kelvin Banks more, obviously you can take him, whoever. But either way, I think we talked about this before. It's offensive lineman no matter what.
Yeah. I love it. It's the same page. I think they have a couple tackles that are okay, but their line in general is weak, and this guy can apparently play anywhere. So I had him written down like 3 picks ago as soon as I knew he'd get there. I think that's an excellent pick.
And then my bold prediction is Sam Darnold goes back to the Sam Darnold we remember.
Oh no!
I just think Kevin O'Connell is like the ultimate quarterback guru. We've seen him do it with literally everyone.
Yeah.
And even Joshua Dobbs was like a superhero for a couple games. Like he's just remember he came in and Kevin O'Connell just told him who's going to be open. Yeah. Remember that first week, like 2 weeks 2 days on the team.
Totally.
It's like so Sam Darnold had the perfect situation to succeed in Minnesota, and now he's going to Seattle where it is now. They're 2 of their 3 wide receivers are gone.
Yeah.
Offensive line. So
yeah, I think Abuka maybe. But I feel I've seen that a lot, but I kind of feel like isn't Abuka and JSN kind of the same person?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking O-line too. I've had Zabel down in there for a little bit.
The Bucks. This is my favorite pick of the draft so far, just because they get to choose. Pick 19, I got them taking Will Johnson, who's still around.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I think I had to move him to Miami once we found out this morning that Jalen Ramsey wants out. So then I've got Malachi Starks going here. Which goes to my point is they need defensive backs, and they kind of have like their choice of the top 4 defensive backs remaining. You know, they can get the second best corner or the best safety, which I think is a great position to be in at 19 when that's a need. Is my thought.
Yeah, I mean, and in your draft, I think Denver is running to the podium, and I think in mine too, because I'm also going away from the player I'm thinking of. But for the Bucks, I want to see if we're on the same page. I bet you we are. But for the Bucks, I'm going Jihad Campbell.
Okay. Yeah, and I already took. Yeah. Or I had someone already taking Jihad Campbell earlier, so yeah. But yeah, if he's still there, incredible. They need a linebacker. They need they need defensive backs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
like that.
Also, I had Nick Emanwari, Combine legend, also as an option here, but I'm saving him for a team that I like down the road that I hope he gets him. So,
which team would that be?
But Malachi Starks is a great spot. So, I mean,
yeah,
can't go wrong with the safety. But yeah, I think if, like you said, if Jihad's still there, perfect for them. Pick number 20. I guess we should be on the same page. I don't know. I have Omarion Hampton.
Yeah, I think. Peyton sprints up and just says, "Here you go. Here's the card." Doesn't even wait for any trade offers. That would be an absolute brainer.
Yeah, and and I said just like the Bucks, the draft falls really well for them, and they just get the player they wanted for sitting tight.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you with this next one though.
And then the Broncos. Well, I was gonna say too, like where they are, pick 20. They can get either the second best running back, the second or first best wide receiver, and maybe if Lovin falls, he might not fall, but maybe second best tight ends. They're an outrageous scenario for them.
Yeah, they're in good shape.
All right, next.
I think all these teams that are in this area are all pretty happy. Like, that's
why I started off the podcast saying we're like that. Kind of, there's that one area where like, oh shit, the best player just went ahead of me, but now it's like, oh great, I've got my pick of incredible players where I am.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, moving on. Pick 21, Pittsburgh Steelers. Who do you got?
So, and part of this is a hope. I mean, not that I ever want the Steelers to be good, but the hope is that they just show up and tell Aaron Rodgers, like, kick rocks. We're not waiting any longer for you. If Shamar's there, he's the pick. If not, Jalen Milroe.
Ooh, Milroe. Oh, your boy.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because we were talking and you said how Milroe was invited to the draft, which is...
Yeah. There's some information somewhere. They're not going to invite him to the draft if he's not going in the first round.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even want... They're only inviting, I think, like 15 or 20. Like, so... Like,
yeah, it's like 19 or 20, I saw.
Yeah. So they don't want kids that are going anywhere later than 25. And I mean, they're obviously... They get information from somewhere, right? They get information from somebody. Steelers need a quarterback. They got to stop pussyfooting around just grabbing whoever they think they can. Milroe may not start right away, but they can go Rudolph for a little bit. And yeah, maybe Jackson Dart is an outlier because I think he runs more than people realize, and he might be a mini Big Ben. But just for fun, just because I think he would look good in a Steelers uniform too, I'm going Milroe.
Okay. And it's interesting because I think he's better than Anthony Richardson. But he's probably worse than Jalen Hurts. But that's still like a decent thing to take a swing on, especially at pick 21.
Like I think the NFL comp for him, if he pans out even a little bit, is Jalen Hurts. In my mind.
I think maybe that should be the bet of the draft because I'm sure the value has to be pretty good for him to go in the top 25.
Well, yeah. Like why else would they have him there? Not gonna just be like, hey, let's bring this kid in and embarrass him.
Yeah. I've got Jackson Dart, but I mean, I like it. I may have to switch.
Okay. So yeah,
I may have to pull a switcheroo though. Jalen Milroe. I like the idea.
Well, same page though. Like we're both thinking they got to go quarterback there. I just think they have to. Like enough. Stop messing around.
Yeah. Well, and they haven't done anything correct since like the last few years. Even like of Ben Roethlisberger, he should have been gone. Which I guess you can't just kick him to the curb because he's done so much for you. But like they held on to him 2 years too long, and then they've just been. So for the last 10 years or so, it's been nonsense. Maybe not 10 years, but yeah. Yeah, imagine they sign Aaron Rodgers and just have a disaster of a season.
I mean, I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, you'd be very happy.
I think a couple of good buddies that are Steelers fans, I kind of want them to not have to suffer too much. So go and get you a quarterback. See what happens.
That's gonna warm Leroy's heart when he hears that.
Yeah, I know.
Look at you turning a whole new leaf.
Or it's gonna really piss him off. He won't even hear anything that I said about them wanting to be okay. He'll just hear Jalen Milroe just throw his wrench through the window.
Pick number 22, LA Chargers. I've still got Matthew Golden here.
Yeah.
Wide receiver Texas. Nice. So I think they take him, give Herbie another weapon.
Yeah. Nice. Same page, different guy. I'm going Tet. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I think they could easily be flip flopped. But if you have Tet across from the rookie they had last year, now you're talking.
Yeah.
Their line's good. I'm sure they would take Hampton if he fell there. But and they need help on defense. But their line's in a good spot, so I think you get a chance to pick up a playmaker.
Which again goes to our point about these people in these next little spots is kind of the draft falls perfectly to them where they can take Golden, they can take they'll have a bunch of good options. waiting for him. And I also think that whoever they pick will either be the offensive or defensive player of the year for the rookies.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's just hard by, it'll be like, oh yeah, we got it. He's going to be a stud. Where they'll pick JPJ, James Pierce Jr., or whoever it is.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, he's legit. Speaking of JPJ, pick number 23, Green Bay Packers. They're kind of like nice everywhere. They don't need a ton, maybe a corner, an edge, but the best corners are gone. I thought about, what's his name, Hairston, but I took James Pierce Jr., edge from Tennessee. And that's what I take.
I looked at that too, but you keep hearing all these things about some character concerns with him, and the Packers just don't play that game. They tend to go cleaner, so I'm going with Green.
Okay.
Same idea. We both think they need some edge help.
Absolutely.
Bing, 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 bing. Trade alert, trade alert, trade alert, trade alert. Just so you know, this is where it's happening.
Oh.
I'll let you pick first, and then I'll tell you what the trade's going to be and break your
heart. My dream scenario, I think, because the Vikings only have 4 picks in the draft, is a trade down.
Yeah.
But if they keep it, I think Nick Emanwari, safety in South Carolina, he was a combine super freak.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine Brian Flores, him blitzing all the time, putting him in weird packages that I don't understand, but Brian does. So I just think if you have this guy at your disposal, I'd be very excited if he was a Viking. But a trade down for good value, I'm fine with too.
I think that's a great pick, just because also Harrison's still got a year or two, right? Harry Smith. And he's such a dude that I think he'd be a great guy for a young safety to learn from. So if they stay, I think that's a fantastic pick. But the Patriots are going to send you their second and the third that they got for Matthew Judon.
Okay.
For pick 24.
And who are the Patriots taking?
Well, they have to check their medicals, and if they trust that Simmons is healthy, the tackle from Ohio State, they're going there. And if not, then it's Josh Connolly Jr.
Okay.
So
I like it.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I'm just going to go with either or from that right now because I don't have the medicals.
Yeah. Because then we get, I guess, so the 7th pick in the second round?
Yeah, it's like there's maybe it's 5th. I think it's pick 37.
Okay.
And then 77.
Yeah. But there's still a ton of great picks in that start of the second round. For like the first half, there's great people left. So
yeah. And an extra third, and you guys only have 4 picks, so you kind of need it. I think you have to trade. And you know what? If you have to, throw in another 6th rounder or whatever.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever makes it work.
How many picks do the Patriots have?
Lots.
Yeah, that's what I
think
thought.
9. 9 or 10.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, that works. Nice little tradesies.
Oh boy!
Shake hands. There we go.
I will be beside myself if we come out of that with Carter and then one of those 2 tackles. I'll just be I'll be on cloud 9.
Would you want 2 tackles if the option was there? Like, let's say you had just had to take Will Campbell, and then would you trade in and get another, or would you take an edge if you didn't have Abdul Carter?
No, I think if we go Campbell there, we need talent everywhere. So I think I think that would be getting a little bit greedy. So yeah, I don't think that would be the play. I think go in and get an edge guy or
yeah, because like in my scenario, Shamar Stewart's still there that you could trade up for. And what's his name? Azaruka from Boston College would still be there. So, all right. Well, moving on, pick 25. I think we both think the same thing here. It depends who's available, but offensive tackle help. I've got Kelvin Banks, Texas, available, so I've got them taking him. But whoever they like more, if Josh Simmons is still available or Josh Connerly is still available.
Yeah, same thing. Same thing. I think Banks is probably too good to turn down. But I just prefer. I would if it was me in that pick with the Pats, if they have any good news on Simmons, I would take him because they were talking he was the top left tackle in the draft before he got hurt. So I'm willing to take a shot there with an extra 1st round pick.
Yeah,
but which would leave Houston Banks.
My bold prediction Texans revamp offensive line because they also signed Cam Robinson.
Yeah.
But maybe CJ Stroud's back in like the top 5-6 QB conversation again.
Yeah.
And Nico Collins, top overall PPR wide receiver in fantasy.
Wow.
Yeah. It's fantasy juice.
I like it.
Pick 26, Los Angeles Rams. I just think they need to help Sam Darnold here with whatever it is available, and I've still got Josh Simmons here, offensive tackle Ohio
Sam
State.
Darnold, what?
Sam Darnold. Sam Bradford. Yes.
What is happening
Sam Bradford.
here? Yeah, what's going
Sam
on?
Jackson.
Jesus, here we go. This is what make drafts so hard. You get past 20 and things go to hell. You think of Matthew Stafford maybe is the name you're looking for?
Matthew Stafford, yes, exactly. White people, they all look the same.
Yeah.
White quarterback. They're Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Sorry, they help out Matthew Stafford, and they get an offensive tackle, which is Simmons. Is what I've got.
Okay. I'm going Jackson Dart.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Staffy's towards the end. He's got 1 or 2 years left. And I think McVay wants to get a guy, and he's got some nice mobility, throws well. The knock on him was that sometimes he, reading things or throwing into tight coverage sometimes, but with McVay, the way he drives up his offense, like he makes it pretty easy on the quarterback, and Dart can sling it. So I think he'd be pretty happy to get that pick.
Yeah. I was just thinking because you've only probably got 1 year left with Stafford, so I think you either options are to look to the future or just give him one last chance with a stud lineman or wide receiver or whatever you think. All right, pick number 27, Baltimore Ravens. Shamar Stewart falls to him. Edge, Texas A&M in my scenario.
I like it. This is classic Ravens that they'll just sit there and just a good player will be there and they'll put him in. You'll be like, how do these guys keep doing this? I'm giving them the DT. I can't think of his name right now from Ole Miss. I can't think of his name.
Walter Nolan.
Yeah.
I think just like you're saying, either in my case Stewart, your case Nolan, but they end up just becoming a stud and turns out being one of the best defensive players in the draft, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They need help on defense. So I mean, if a top 3 corner is still there, maybe a safety, Jihad Campbell I think will be gone, but Michael Williams probably gone, maybe JPJ, but I think that there's a ton of good options that'll fall to him, whether it's one of those edges. Walter Nolan should be there.
Yeah.
Pick number 28, Detroit Lions. I've got them taking Nazaruka, Boston College, but again, a bunch of options at edge that could still be around for them. Or defensive tackle.
I like what they have in the secondary with that Banks kid. Not Banks, the kid from Alabama. He was a rookie last year.
Yeah.
Stud.
It's not coming.
And it's not coming to me right now, but I think they go Imanwori. If my
he's
trade proposal goes through you and he's there, they like to get creative on defense. He's like a Swiss Army knife, can play anywhere. I think Dan Campbell would love that. And I'm going Imanwori there.
And I had Harrison as an option as well, a cornerback from Kentucky.
Yeah, because they just lost one.
But I think they're in a good spot too. Like you said, Imanwori, Harrison, a couple of edges are left.
Yeah,
defensive tackle.
There's really good players left right now, so that's why I didn't think that you'd balk on that trade for the Vikings. Like you're gonna have a lot of good players.
Exactly. Pick 29, Commanders. I just mentioned Maxwell Harrison, quarterback from Kentucky. I have the Commanders taking him. But again, whatever kind of falls in their laps, whether same thing as Detroit, whether it's an edge, whether it's a Manwari, I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah, and they need to get defense because their defense sucks out loud. I don't as good as the quarterback is. Like their defense was absolute trash last year. He just kind of keeps him around. So I'll go JPJ.
Okay,
he's still available in mine, and I think he's the pick there.
Yeah. All right. Buffalo Bills. I think they need to go defense. Pick number 30. I've got them with Derek Harmon, defensive tackle from Oregon. Though Walter Nolan, whoever you like better, plug him in or whoever fits their system better.
Yeah. Same page, except I got Harmon was already gone in mine, so Kenneth Grant.
Okay. Yeah, another good option too.
Yeah, they need to shore up that D-line.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, should be looking good as long as that defense gets a little bit better. The pick 31, the Chiefs. They sit pretty, and I've got Josh Carnley from offensive tackle from Oregon falling to him.
Yeah. So for me, that would be as well, unless the Pats take him with the trade, and then it'd be Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those three. It's gonna be Carnley, Simmons, or Banks, whichever one's available.
I would love if they didn't mess around and just trade it up. Like, let's say Will Campbell falls or Membu falls, because I mean,
go that high.
Yeah, like I think they trade up and just get because they need it. I mean, we see time and time again he's just getting murdered. Like, protect the best player in the league at all costs.
Yeah,
it costs another second, 2 seconds, whatever it is.
So be it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
So, all right. Final pick of the draft, pick 32, Philadelphia Eagles. I think the same thing as we say about the Ravens. Somehow some stud will fall to them. And in my mock, I got Walter Nolan falling to him, which they need to fill gaps on that defensive line.
Yeah.
And they get one of the best, if not the best, defensive tackle in the draft. Or I guess maybe not. Second best.
For sure. And that'll be classic Eagles. It's just going to happen for them. It's going to turn out that way. It's going to be so annoying. But I'm just realizing that there's someone else really good on my board still. And he would pair well with what they drafted last year in the secondary. Malachi Starks is still available in mine. And God, it's going to piss me off that he goes there.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to live with it. And yeah, they're going to just get a good player there. And it's going to be frustrating for everybody else.
Yeah, I guess I feel like obviously GMs have egos, but I would have my ego would be put aside if I was a GM, and I'd just look at my draft and be like, best available. Oh, Georgia player's there? Pick. Oh, Alabama player's there? Pick.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that's what the Eagles have done. They got like 7 Georgia players on their team that just waltzed through the Super Bowl. So
exactly.
Seems to be working. Outlier there too is in mind that Donovan Jackson's still available. And he ended up playing tackle, but it sounds like he's more of a guard, but he's a beast. And they're always going to stock up their line. They're always going to make sure they got dudes up front.
Yeah. Any quarterbacks? So what are the other cornerbacks? Could they go high? Like Quinn Ewers? Who else is in there? You already have Jalen Milroe going.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Ewers is a 6th rounder.
Yeah.
The next one out on my list anyway, like I got 4 in the first round, which is what I think is going to happen. And then it'll be that Tyler Shuck.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think there's a bit of a drop off where, it'll be Will Howard, but I don't see that even on day 2. I think he's more of a day 3.
Yeah. I wonder where Tyler Shuck could go. He's Texas Tech alum, so I'm pulling for him.
Yeah.
He can never stay healthy, from what I remember.
He's another one to consider just because of where he's at. Like he's 25, but he's got tons of experience. Seems like a great kid. He's another one to look at in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I just don't know. They might say, hey, that's too rich for our blood at 20, 21, or wherever they are. But at some point, you just have to say, hey, we need a quarterback. Just draft a quarterback. Like,
yeah,
who cares if you ranked him 5 spots lower?
Yeah, and Suga's definitely compared to Bo Nix of the draft. Maybe not as talented, but similar idea.
So if he goes to a good team, right, that's got a decent roster around him, and he's mature, so he's going to he can step in right away. He might step in before some of these other guys. So a team like that, like a team that's decent and needs a quarterback. So when you look at the bottom half of the draft, it's really just Pittsburgh. So I wouldn't rule that out. I just wanted to see your eyes pop. That's why I went with the Milroe one.
Yeah, well, I think when you said that whole thing about him being invited to the draft, I think it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Now I'm just trying to think about how I can bet this, because surely it should be a good bet out there.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere. It's got to be a way. Got to be a way to throw money away.
Jalen Milroe, 21 of the Steelers.
To win the Masters, by the way, so that was nice.
Ooh, I in my famous fashion. So I had the betting diaries. We can end this maybe with the betting diaries. So go into the Masters, and I just always go Canada and Texas Tech. So Aberg went to Texas Tech. Then we've got Corey Connors and Nick Taylor.
Yeah.
Connors 75 to 1, Aberg 17 to 1, and Nick Taylor was like 250 to 1.
Okay.
So you're not really investing much money. I think it was like 50 to win 600 or something like that with Aberg, and like 20 to win 1,500 with Connors. So I haven't thrown much money away yet. I've only thrown around $60, $70.
Yeah.
And then it was down to when Rory almost threw it all away midway through.
Yeah.
I went and hedged because I had Aberg there and Justin Rose. And I was like, as long as Justin Rose doesn't screw me, I'm good. So I hedged and I put 200 on Rory when he went up to like plus 120 or something. And so I ended up winning. But
nice.
I was like, oh, unless Justin Rose comes and screws me, I'm fine. And what does Justin Rose come and do? Just absolutely. So it went real panic time there for a minute, as you can imagine. So I was living and breathing with Rory because I already was losing since Aberg just kind of was doing bad. And I'll double down. I'll do Rory. So if Rory lost, it would have been a real big L in my books.
Yeah.
So it was a rough one.
Hey, as long as you're up on the plus side. So one other thing I just
shots. Incredible shots by Rory. Those two. Oh,
I didn't get to watch much of it live. I got to watch it afterwards, and holy cow!
Like from going just like bottom of the barrel to be like he might be a much better version of Kirk Cousins, but like nothing to lose. He like puts the pressure on himself where he throws pick sixes, starts minus two, or sorry, it starts +2, a double bogey, and then he's like, okay, no more pressure. Now I'll just shoot the shots of my life. Now that I've already thrown it all away and nothing to lose.
Nothing.
But yeah. Mm.
So one more thing I should have asked. I should have told you this before because I just think it's fun. Like there's so many names in this draft I like. Like who are a couple names that you'd like to see your team get kind of a little bit later down in the draft?
Let me pull up. Now all of a sudden my mind's just going completely blank. But
I'll go first then.
Harrison's available. We can always use corner help. Go ahead.
But even I'm talking like third, fourth. Like I got like four or five guys that I would love to see at some point. Like I think that if we make that trade with you, we probably take it out of the range to get Higgins from Iowa State, the big receiver. Plus, I know that I should smack myself on the hand because we should just not draft wide receivers because we're no good at it.
That's true.
But I'd love to see Scatabo down the line.
He loves Scatabo.
Oh, he's awesome. I'd love to see it. And same with Tate Ratledge from Georgia. Like he's just a mauler guard. Bring that on, and then take a flyer. Like someone's going to get lucky with either Morrison from Notre Dame or that Revel kid. They're two corners that both were highly rated and both got hurt last year. One of them is going to turn into gold, and so it's just going to be a matter of which team gets them, and and where. You still have to use a decent enough pick on them, but someone's going to strike gold there.
Yeah.
And my dark horse, just because I loved watching him, I can't remember if it's Makuba or Mabuka. He was number 4 for Texas. He was a safety. He's apparently like going to be a 4th or 5th round pick, and he's all over the field. So I wanted on record telling you I want the Patriots to get him, and he's going to be a beast in the NFL.
All right, we got it recorded. So perfect. It's going to be at first I didn't think it was going to be that great of a draft, but actually it seems like it'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you must have your eye on some guys.
I mean, not really too far deep. I didn't get out of the weeds too much, but I don't know, we only have 4 picks, so that's probably one of the main reasons.
That's why I offered you the trade.
Now you got the trade. All right. But I'm just hoping. All I've been counting on was Amen Worry, just because I would love to see him unleashed in that defense.
Yeah, he would be sweet. He would be sweet. Another good one too, and just because I see Vrabel when I watch him play, is that Jack Sawyer from Ohio State.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he's gonna be a pretty good player.
Yeah, it's definitely deep. Like you said, through that first half, the second round, even almost the full second round. And I'm sure someone's gonna slide. I wonder who's gonna be like one or two guys that just you can't imagine that they're gonna slide, but they do. I wonder who they'll end up being.
I know. Yeah, it's gonna be weird. I hope it's not Shadur because he needs to go in the top 3 from my draft.
Yeah, it's true. All right, Blaiso. Well, I thought it was going to go a lot longer. I guess we didn't do as many bold predictions, but knocked it out. We'll see how it falls.
Yeah. Is there any other trades you see? Like any big things?
I had at the start a ton of trades. So, I mean, I think like you said, like the Patriots could trade out. You could easily see that. You could see right before the Saints, like I see them maybe want to move up a little bit just to make sure they get Shadur or a quarterback that they want.
Yeah.
Any of the corners fall. I can see obviously Atlanta trading out. I don't know. I think there's so many good trade candidates that make a ton of sense.
So if you're the Saints, like let's think about that. If you decide that you want to take a quarterback, where do you have to trade to?
I think you just get nervous that someone could get in front of you, so you just go up like, okay, like pick 6 happens. You're like, all right, let's go to 7. Like, who cares? We want Shadur. We don't want anyone to jump us. Like, I don't think they have to do anything mind blowing, but
I think they got to get ahead of the Jets.
Exactly. So yeah, that'd be I guess the Jets just pick 7, isn't it?
Yeah, and so I think they got to get ahead of the Jets and maybe even ahead of the Raiders. But which is why, like all along, I've thought, hey, 4 is the perfect spot. But that's also for selfish reasons.
Yeah, no, I think the Patriots trade makes a ton of sense because if, like you said, if they can't trade into, I guess even the Jags, because the Jags need a ton of help across the board. So
yeah, no one's ever talking about like. There's a few things with the Jags. No one's talking about a trade down, which why wouldn't they? And no one's talking about Ashton Genty there.
Yeah,
but I almost put him in my draft. I almost put him there because ATN's flash in a pan every now and then, but like he never plays the whole season, and he's really good when he plays, but he just isn't reliable. Like imagine Genty there out of nowhere.
Yeah,
like I almost did it here. I almost did it just because everybody in the world just puts Mason Graham there. So
yeah,
I chickened out, but I could absolutely see them taking Genty.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where Tyler Warren goes. I feel like he could be a bit of a game changer.
Yeah, I let him slide too long. Wouldn't he be good in Carolina even?
Yeah, I mean, I think wherever he goes, right?
You got your young quarterback. You got a decent line already. You got a couple of good pieces outside.
Yeah, I wonder if Carolina will. I mean, another great trade down scenario. They need help everywhere.
Yeah.
So.
They might hold off on trading for a little bit after a couple of the ones that the debacles they've had lately.
Also very true. And then I think we talked about this, but so far to this point, it's still the only draft in ages that everyone has their own draft pick. So
yeah, that's weird. So that's going to change. There's no way that just all 32 teams are making a first round pick. It's not happening.
No. Oh, all right, Blaiso. Good catching up. Mock draft. We'll have to do winners and losers post draft. I'll be after a bachelor party in Miami, so I'll be in rough shape. We have to do that on Tuesday.
Whose is that?
My buddy Josh. It'll be a bunch of actually ex-Miami Hurricane players as well, so I think it could be a good time.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, buckle up.
Which, not organized whatsoever. Just awful. Like, we don't even have a place to stay until yesterday, and it's in 8 days. So
amazing. That's not dad behavior, by the way. That's not dad behavior.
I know. Josh was like, I should have just let you handle it. His wife was like, you should just let Fraser handle the bachelor party. And then she's like, see, I told you. I was like, yeah, this. I mean, I found out Dave was doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant Josh was doing it. I'm like, why is he doing his own bachelor party?
Well, now he kind of is, because the organizer didn't do the best job.
Fuck's sakes, Dave. Clean it up. Like,
I know, Dave.
Listen, like, you got one job. He gave you a job.
Yeah.
Get to work. Planning a party in Miami. Oh, must be so hard to figure that one out.
With a bunch of Miami players.
Yeah. Like, God damn it. If you can't sort that out, like, he couldn't fucking organize a porn viewing in prison if you can't sort that one out.
Exactly. And I counted something like 117 texts about the t-shirts. The t-shirts are sweet, by the way. But I'm like, yesterday I said, I'm glad we had 117 texts about t-shirts, but we still don't have a place to stay 8 days before the so
sweet t-shirts, and you'll be using them as pillows when you're sleeping on the beach at night.
Exactly.
So that works out good. Order 2, so you have a backup.
Yeah. Did you finish 1923?
Sure did.
I think the only thing they mess up is that we have to do our own math for which John Dutton is John Dutton. It happened in 1883. It happened in 1923. I'm like, wait, is that John Dutton? No, because then he'd be 120 years old. So then this John Dutton got born, and I'm like, wait, that can't be John, because then he'd be 100 years old.
This John, is like their baby, is Kevin Costner's dad.
Okay.
That's what my math's telling me.
So is this like 3 John Duttons? I mean, they could have just done different names to make it less confusing.
There's been lots of Duttons, but like, yeah.
But there's a bunch of Johns. There's 3 Johns now.
Yeah, I got to get something off my chest though on that one. You know how much I love the show, and you know my pet peeve with people can't seem to finish shows off these days.
Yeah.
The whole point where they just kept fucking driving up into the mountains.
Yeah,
pissed me off to no end. I was so angry watching it. The show was over and I was angry. I even said it to the wife. I'm like, this is so annoying. They looked right at him and said, "There's no petrol stations." And they're like, "Oh, we're good. It will just run by itself. Or maybe we'll get to the top and then we'll just coast down." Is that was that their game plan? Like, what was the game plan?
I said when they're in Chicago, they're like, "We're gonna drive," and I looked over at Jessica. I was like, "This would be a bad idea with the cars we have now." like I wouldn't do that in your truck right now.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that in their thing. What?
No doubt.
That was before the petrol stations. I was like, whoa. They're not driving this car to where they're driving.
Yeah. The plane or the trains couldn't go because of snowdrifts. But let's take the Model T with rear wheel drive and no tread on the tires, and here we go up into the mountains. Like that part pissed me off to no end. But, and I wish also that the only other thing I wish when they went to the rich guy's house, I mean, it was awesome, but he needed to suffer a little bit more.
Again, just like what happened with Jamie in Yellowstone, it was just so quick. It's like, all right, it's like, wait, we built this all up just for him to do that? That seems dumb.
Yeah, like he needed to suffer a little bit more, but
and then also how it happened is what's the son that came from Africa? What's his name again? Spencer.
Yeah.
So Spencer did all this stuff just to shoot like 6 dudes, and that's what we waited for. You couldn't have just. It just didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
the whole show, 2 seasons or whatever it was just him to come and shoot 6 dudes.
Yeah, I mean the one was pretty sweet when he shot like 3 in one shot, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And
the
they
old
just
elephant
walked
gun.
in and they stood there like the Jedi when they went to confront the Emperor. Remember?
Yeah.
They're all just like this and just get stabbed. He comes through the door and they're all just like this. Is like bang, 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 bang. They all just stood there staring at him. Yeah.
Oh, it was like WWE. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this. All right, I'll stand still.
So good.
But at least Landman's good. I have a gripe, a PC gripe about Landman. It seems like all the PC world is all over. What's his name? Which we've talked about before.
Taylor Sheridan.
So they didn't like Sheridan how the Native American girl, she ended up just like her life was just over. Like she made it, but she lost everything that was important to her. So it's like even though she won, she still lost. And then
but she gets to tell the story, which is what her dad said.
Yeah, which who cares? I mean, it's nice, but it's like you can never like make a female hero like a full hero. Like something has to happen.
Yeah.
And then what's her name? Spencer's wife has to die, and then he has to add in that that Spencer goes on and bangs a widow. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Why do we need that info? What is that?
And then she left because he wouldn't marry her.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Why is that necessary? But
hold on though, because one of the biggest heroes in the whole show was a woman. Was the Helen Mirren? So
Helen, so she was there, but then the PC one, I think that's weird with Landman. It's just like, again, I'm not Mr. PC. We talk about how the world's gotten too PC and all that, but Landman, like, not to get too serious, but we have like child abductions and child sex exploitation, and like that's kind of like the biggest thing in the world. And they like hypersexualize a 17-year-old. Why couldn't she just make her 18? She can still be in high school. It's like watching 17-year-old porn is illegal. You can go to jail.
Yeah.
Why do you have her in her butt cheeks and like old men gawking at her? Just make her 18. Make her 19. I get she can be in high school at 18. I don't understand. That has always been a weird thing for me. Like Game of Thrones, just like and Ozark.
Yeah.
Like child pornography, and even though 17 is very close to 18, just make her 18. I don't understand that whole part of, and that's what a lot of people are upset about. It's like, hey, just so you know,
that's a good point. But what a great show!
Just make them 18. Great show. Aside from that, Texas
Did you watch
Tech
the whole thing
everywhere.
Yet? Yeah,
no, I'm only 3 or 4 episodes in.
Okay, have you been to this scene where the hot lawyer is in the meeting room with the dudes and just like emasculate like that?
Roast them all.
That was like a oh my god, this chick just climbed from being like a here to like here. That was my goodness.
And then Jessica couldn't understand. She's like, this old guy isn't getting what's her name, whipped cream bikini, and this lawyer. I was like, you'd be surprised. West Texas. I went to Texas Tech. every dude is ugly, and somehow they're all rich, and they just land like the hottest chick in school. I saw it many a time. I still see it in my Facebook and Instagram. I'm like, how is she with him? It's mind blowing. But Texas Tech has the out-kicking coverage looks-wise. Yeah, as the money talks of all time.
You're only as good as your options.
But now this also explains why we're doing so well with NIL money. I mean, we've got the Landman, we've got Mahomes. It's a great time to be a Texas Tech fan.
Yeah, it is. It is. How's their baseball team doing? They're usually pretty good.
They are. I haven't paid attention, but hopefully they're doing all right.
I think they got a Canadian kid down there. I'll look that up.
Nice. Yeah, another Canadian on the basketball team just joined, so
perfect.
But yeah, killing it. All right, well, NBA play-in games tonight. I'm sure you'll be watching.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What's a play-in game?
He's play-in to get into the playoffs. They wanted to add more games to make more money, so now we have play-in games.
So the 80 games weren't enough?
No.
Is it like just a one game play all to get in?
They thought about that, but they're like, instead of that, let's make it 7 versus 8. The winner stays. Then the 8th place waits to see 9th versus 10th, and then 9th versus 10th winner plays 8th for the 8th seed. So instead of just like what makes sense, they made 4 more games somehow.
So it's like a page playoff in curling. I don't hate that. Yeah, like they're playing for their lives. They're playing for one game for their playoff lives. In some cases, I mean, if you're a higher seed, you get 2 lives. But if you're not, you only get 1. I like that.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
I like that. I'm not going to watch it, but I like it.
I think it was because LeBron was starting to hover around the 8th, 9th, 10th seed. So they're like, you know what? Let's make sure he has some backup opportunities.
Are they not good now? They made that trade and got what's his name?
They're 3rd overall. But they started this when he was like 9th or 10th.
Okay.
And you love it. Have you watched any of the John Morant saga, shooting the guns?
Don't even know who he is.
John Morant, one of the best players in the league. He always does a gun celebration, but he's been suspended for holding guns and parties and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like he was fined $75,000 2 weeks ago for doing the gun signs twice. $75,000 for gun signs in a country where you can run around with a gun and just shoot people like Rittenhouse. That's fine, but God forbid a guy holds guns. So now what he's doing is next day after his fine.
Yeah.
Boom. 3.
Oh, he's grenading.
Throws a grenade into the stands.
I love it.
Now he's got a full grenade celebration. He's so good.
Did he get fined for it?
No, because that's not illegal. Yeah.
I love it.
He did a bazooka once too.
I was gonna say he should pull a bazooka out.
He did a bazooka.
Yeah.
So
you know what has to be next? You know what has to be next? Bow and arrow.
Yeah. Exactly.
Bam.
It's so good. And some people are up in arms, as you can imagine. Old white columnists.
People.
Yeah. Can we not do celebrations where people are dying? No one's dying with fake guns. One who is dying? This fucking country where you have real guns everywhere.
Everywhere. And if you just honk at somebody in traffic, you'll get shot now. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No one's dying. A fake grenade kills no people.
No. I don't even know where to get a grenade, but
no,
God forbid.
Yeah. I don't think you can just go to a store and buy them.
No. Well, maybe in a couple more years if there's things you keep on going how they're going.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. I know a lot of people that have stocked up their gun collections up here.
Well, I guess that was a good way to end it off.
Yeah.
The old Fraser Bay podcast.
Throw a grenade into the crowd.
Yeah, fanneverland.com. Uncle Blaiso. We'll see you for the post-draft winners and losers.
Let's do it.
All right. Later.